sure delighted to be really our for the speaking people.
I'm Eric Wilska from the Book Loft in Great Barrington, who, along with my wife Evelyn and Maggie and William Morell of Rouge Restaurant, are very pleased to be hosting this event tonight, where we have here assembled a prodigious amount of writing talent. And I guess all we can just start by saying thank you for coming, to all of you poets, and fiction writers, and journalists, script writers, screenwriters, nonfiction writers, memoirists, biographers, bloggers. You're all important. You put your fingers to a keyboard, you put your pencil to a paper. It's a hard job, and we are very appreciative. We are as booksellers, we are as librarians, we are appreciative as readers, and tonight is just a night to celebrate your talent and the fact that you do what you do.
I'm Maria Serrois. I'm a writer and a friend of Eugenie Sills, and we were talking about how important this event is because women at every level of named experience and inner experience around writing and telling their stories are mixing here in a way that's incredibly affirmative for them. And I was just inviting Eugenie to think about how her perspective of understanding these issues from a gender perspective, global, cultural, local, and personal, would be really wonderful for us to have. And so I'm encouraging her to start blogging about it.
And I said, but I'm not a writer.
And I said, that'll be the title of the first column.
Because I started the Women's Times, so many people think that I'm a writer, but that's not my identification, although I do write. But I think women should be encouraged to tell their stories, and whether they're published or they're not published, or whatever the genre or the form that it takes matters. We all have a story to tell.
I'm Lucy Prashker, and I'm not a writer. My best friend Susan Engel is a writer, and I'm very excited to be here supporting her. I actually am an intellectual property lawyer, so I represent writers, but I don't write myself. I just admire their work. It's great to be here in West Stockford celebrating writers in Berkshire County.
Berkshires, by its very essence, kind of means creativity to me and self-expression.
There's a tremendous energy and power available, and I know some of it certainly builds on the heritage of Edith Wharton and Vincent Millay and the whole history of writers in the Berkshires. But I think it's something that's growing into a new energy.
I give them my heart for the taking. I give them my taking for their heat. It's the oldest ecstasy, an endless appetite for fire, for the shavings of our lives, for what passes between two bodies in a muted night, near silence of vibration, what feels like sex but isn't.
I'm Molly Boxer. I am thrilled to be at this event. I spoke to Eugenie earlier. What she said about people telling their stories and that everybody has a story actually brought me to tears because I do have a story. I'm working on writing it, and I just find it so empowering to be in a group of people, a group of women, and knowing that there's a way to put a voice to my story.
I'm Michelle Gillette. I just gave a poetry reading with a group of poets I belong to.
My name is Rosalind May Reese, and I write poetry and work in other art modalities as well. What I found at times is that the medium of using words was more powerful for me than the medium of charcoal or pastel or movement or dance. And so I've been drawing with words.
I compare it to walking across the bridge and a reader's on one side and you're the writer and you're the other on the other side. And the poem is really the bridge between the two of you.
I'm Jennifer Brody de Hernandez. I've been organizing the International Women's Day conferences for 8 years, and we decided to do Women in the Arts. This is certainly one of my favorite events.
My name is Melita Rowe, and I'm really happy to be here because in 10 years of living in the Berkshires, I knew there were a lot of writers around, but I didn't realize that we had a community of women writers till I came tonight. Because it's really hard to find each other. And I do academic writing primarily, so as an academic and a writer, I'm sort of doubly isolated, so it's really even that much harder to find a community. So this is a really nice event. I've talked to, I don't know, 4 novelists that I met for the first time tonight, and a couple of people whose names I'd heard of in the area as writers, and never had put a face or a personality to them, so that was exciting. And we know there's an agent here tonight, too. So I'll be talking to her at some point.
It's wonderful that the Book Loft has done this. I really do feel part of something. And it's new, and it's really nice.